Would limiting the age of the president to 65 be something you'd support? Why or why not? I would support it. Not only for the obvious issue of old people have mental health decline and the debate of mental disorders like dementia, but a generational thing too. People who are 65 and up live totally different lives than me at 26, even if we live generally in the same or similar location, financial status, and social groups. Some of these politicians say they worked at McDonald's when in college too and bought a house and paid for their education at just $2 an hour. In 1962, dollars had the same buying power as $18. That's more than my previous factory job, which was just $16 an hour. How do you explain that to them? Even Bernie wants a $15 min wage, which is not even a living wage anymore. Unfortunately, it would be ageism, and that would be illegal. While I am all for the president being a representative of the populace, it could set a dangerous precedent for other positions. Not only in government, but also private sector. Personally, I think it would be better to allow people born outside of the country to potentially be president. Getting an outside perspective can be extremely important to solving problems. Now, of course, they must be a citizen and vetted. Age is not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to leading one of the most powerful countries in the world. There is something to be said about life experience, as long as there isn't a disconnect with the nation. I am going to be the unpopular opinion here. I think having an age limit really does take away experienced candidates who have dedicated their lives to public service. While the majority of those people don't actually run for office, I think we do underplay how important experience and wisdom is important for a leader. Nelson Mandela was 75 when he was elected president. I have had professors in college who were so intelligent, compassionate, and overall good people who were over the age of 65. I know that the majority of people who run for president or who are in politics don't fit that narrative, but I think it's still important to keep that door open. Nah. I just want term limits across the board. I don't like old people making decisions that play out over decades, but I also don't like saying somebody can't do something strictly because they're old. They might be the best person. But we never get the best person for president. The two-party system is broke. So age limit on presidency doesn't really matter. They'll find some other garbage person to put up there that'll keep the status quo going. But screw this 30+ years in Congress nonsense. It's neither liberal nor progressive to support ageism. If you want to fix politics, criminalize accepting special interest money, criminalize financial investment above and beyond 401(k)s/IRA/S/index funds during terms, institute term limits, decrease the election cycle to a 6-month period, and mandate 100% transparency in existing political beliefs, financial investments, and political goals. Further, like any job, a mid-year and annual review are required. You must report to the voters why you failed in a campaign promise, and how you can resolve that moving forward. Finally, bi-weekly interviews are required, with questions fielded not from the press exclusively but from voters. Probably not. While I think a lot of you have great points regarding how age plays a factor in mental health and that they don't really have a long-term stake in what happens to the country as a result of the policies they have passed, but the more I think about it, the more it just seems so myopic. I don't really see what it would accomplish given how utterly screwed our political system already is. Old corrupt politicians are starting to retire and are often being replaced by younger, but equally corrupt politicians. Frankly, I couldn't give two fucks less about how old a candidate is. At this point, I only care that they consistently support progressive policies and have shown that they aren't corruptible by corporations and nefarious interest groups. No. It's not the issue. The issue is so many other things that lead to the president being older. Also, everyone seems to forget that G.W., Clinton, and Obama were all in their 50s when elected. There has literally been more younger presidents than ones over 65, the median age of US presidents on election is 55. You might as well ask, should we be limiting the age to over 65? Just because you are young and that is all you remember, doesn't mean it's a worrying trend and old people are taking over the world. Edited to add a source. https://www.potus com/presidentialfacts/age at inauguration/ https://www. POTUS. No. While there are certainly some greater than 65 years people that should not be in office, it is not the majority of them. Most greater than 65 years people are wise enough to know that they don't want that job. If any limitation should be made, it should be the desire for the position. If you want to be president, odds are you can't be trusted with the responsibility. We would honestly be better off if the presidency was chosen by random, like jury duty. We are better off with a clever lazy person or a stupid lazy person in office than a hard-working idiot. 65 is scary old for someone who might be serving 8 years, all of which could be during wartime. The country literally relies on the president's health and sanity to prosper, and in war to keep morale. 60 at the absolute oldest. 55 would be ideal to keep a more youthful and engaged country that is aware of the times. We do live in a world where technology and change are a constant. If you were over 60 right now, how much would you truly understand about cyberbullying, gender and sports debates, or even the vast spread of life-enslaving student loans? Let people over 60 be senators. Let that be the old boys club if we have to have one.